Whirlwind shirt place. They're not open, but. We were in there, the candy shop, last time. Ohio roads are so bumpy. So terrible. I was just looking at that. Sorry we're looking at your butt guts, everyone. It's terrible. I get the wind drag.
Off to see the wizard.
Alright, okay. I'm done. Ooh, busy.
One of these islands went up for sale, I seen not too long ago.
What? Ooh, this is out. Oh!
It's cold?
Warm! Warm! That's not warm!
That's warm.
Okay. Oh, God.
Now this lake freezes over, you can drive across.
Oh, look at that beautiful rock. Look at that.
Do people actually drive across?
Yeah. But they got markers. Yeah. Because people go ice fishing out here all the time and stuff. Like I said.
Feels good being home, doesn't it?
That feels good to be here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of memories out here.
Sad this is closed.
Night and day, huh?
becoming fall out here, so the water's getting choppier and colder.
Their natural color will be kind of like that blue-white that you'll see back behind the light. And then the green that's more up top of here in the middle, that is just from the algae. And now each crystal has exactly 14 sides, 10 of which you can see, and they are made of strontium sulfate. And now there are about 25 caves on the island. Now this is the only crystal cave that they know of, but there could be something else like it just yet to be discovered. Now there used to be 5 caves that were...
Which one do you know? This one.
Ever have any of these fall?
No, nothing like that.
That drum will rotate, and inside there is a big leather bag that will inflate and deflate 5 times over the course of a few hours. Now it's going to push all the grapes up against the sides there to get all that juice out, which we'll catch down in our trough below. Then we'll pump that juice into one of those big stainless steel tanks inside there. And if we're making grape juice, we'll add in sodium benzoate. Now that's going to kill off any yeast in there and stop any fermentation. But if we are making wine, we'll add some more yeast in, and we'll let that ferment for about 2 to 6 weeks, depending on the sugar content and the temperature. The yeast will eat up all that sugar and then bubble out alcohol. And we ferment all of our wines here to the point of dryness, so there's no sugar left in them. If we're making a sweet wine, we add that sugar in later. And from 5 tons of grapes, we get about 900 gallons of wine. So if you take a look at these big barrels here, that's what we use to ferment our wine in. These ones are over dry for too long, that wood will crack and let air into the wine, and that's going to turn it sour. Also, they only last about 30 years, and after that, they don't really add any more oakiness to the wine. So at this point, we just stick with our stainless steel. You come all the way down. So this is our blending and filtering room. Now in here, Ed Heineman, our head winemaker, will decide what kind of wine he's going to make. If he's making, say, our pink catawba, which is a blend, he'll mix those 2 wines in one of these big fiberglass tanks. Then he'll check the acidity levels and the alcohol content. He'll add in the sugar. Then he'll taste it a few times to make sure it's just right. And then we'll pump it through this machine right here. This is our filter. The first step in this process is 19 of these cardboard slats. And if there's any sediment still hanging out in that wine, it's going to catch it right there. Then it'll pass through our carbon filters. That gets rid of any cloudiness in our wine. And we'll pump it back into the other barrel, and we'll be ready to bottle it. Now, on average, from one of these barrels, we get around 3,000 bottles of wine. So, if you take a look right back here, that's our old bottle. You'd fill the wine in at the top of the vat. There'd be a hose coming down the bottom, and through just the sheer force of gravity, that wine would travel down, and you'd fill each individual bottle by hand. Now, as you can imagine, that takes a very long time to do. Also move down again, where they get spun around, we stick our label right on the side. Then we box them up, send them down through the wall for storage, and we'll be ready to sell. Now, in this next room, I'm going to show you all the types of wine we have available for you to try today. So watch your step up right here, especially on these top stairs, they get a bit uneven. So these are all the wines we have right now. Starting down at our sweet end, we have our Sweet Belle. That's going to be almost like a fruit punch level of sweetness. Then we have our Sweet Concord, and that one is basically adult grape juice. Then we have our Sweet and Pink Catawbas. Those are the closest ones we have to Moscatos. The Pink Catawba here has a green apple kind of a finish to it, and that one's been our best seller since 1972. Then we have our Niagara. That one's like picking a fresh green grape right off the bottom. And then one of our favorites behind the bar is our Sauterne. It's a blend of our Catawba and Niagara grapes. It's the start of the medium list though, so it's not going to be super sweet. Then we have our Island Chablis. This one's really light with some citrus notes to it. It's a blend of our Vidal Blanc and Riesling. Then we have our Traminette. Now this one is from a German variety of grape that was cultivated in the Midwest. You're going to pick up some floral and pear notes in that one. And then we have our Burgundy. Now this one's an Islander favorite. It's a blend of our Concord and Ives grapes. It's a lot of flavor and really full body in that one. And at the top of our dry list, we have our one dry white. It's our Pinot Grigio. It's real crisp and citrusy and full body. And we've got 3 dry reds right now. We have our Cabernet Franc. That one is a medium body. You're going to get some really strong black cherry flavors from that one. Then we have our Pinot Noir. Very light. And you get some berry and olive notes from that one. And then down here is our Claret. Now, we bottled that one up this season, and it's the first time we've done that in 15 years. It is very dry, but you still get some really strong fruit notes from it because there are 4 types of grapes in that one. And we've got one type of grape juice right now. It's our Catawba. It's a white. It's got a little bit of tartness to it, but still very sweet. We don't add any sugar or water to that.